What's up, guys? This is Wenzes. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about personal development for INFJs and how to create an epic life on your terms. Today we talk about how to adjust and maintain your emotional state. And this is something completely different than controlling your thoughts, which we talked about a couple of videos ago. Today is the last video of our INFJ Warrior Month, and that's why I'm talking today specifically about the emotional state, because it is by far the most complex approach, and it's also the one thing that will bring you the biggest benefits. This is a hard thing to do, but you as an INFJ have very specific qualities that can make it happen for you. If you put your mind to it, you will see what amazing things you can create, and your INFJ Epic Life will start developing before your eyes. Before we get started, I want to remind you, if you want to take the next step in creating your INFJ Epic Life, then check out the INFJ Epic Life Masterclass. I'm discontinuing it next year, probably in January, in order to focus more on bootcamp. So this is the last time you have a chance to get your hands on it. So what is an emotional state and how does it differ from thoughts? So controlling your thoughts is deciding that you're going to think about what your next goals are, what the next thing is that you're going to do. These are real rational things that are going on in your mind, and they're happening on a conscious level. Your emotional state is something that you feel, and we as INFJs have a very unique way of experiencing that emotional state, because it's a combination of introverted intuition and extroverted feeling for us. For other types, it might be different, but this is the thing that is most prevalent within us. It's not like we don't experience any of the other senses or any of the other functions, but these are the things that have the biggest impact on us. So when I talk about an emotional state, for us INFJs, it's always this combination of introverted intuition and extroverted feeling. So there is a vastness to it, and there is an emotionality to it. So for example, let's say you receive an email, and because so many of the emails that you've received in the last weeks had something negative within them, you automatically get this feeling in your body. And if you're really being careful, you will recognize that this is happening in a particular part of your body. It's different for everybody, but most of the time you either feel it in your throat, you feel it in your chest area, or you feel it in your stomach. Most people who look into this always say, like, if you feel something in your stomach, it's probably fear. Everything that you feel around your chest area is sadness, abandonment, and everything you experience around your throat area has something to do with suppression. So suppressing emotions, suppressing something you want to say out loud, anything in that regard. It isn't anything esoteric. Remember, I'm not going that direction, because I believe that everything we talk about is a very practical approach. Just observe yourself and see where you're feeling those emotions. For some people, it's different. For some people, they experience fear somewhere else, but very often we choose to recreate that emotion, and that's where it gets interesting. That's what will bring you the biggest shift in your transformational journey. So if you know that you are in charge of how you emotionally feel, you can change that, and you can maintain a positive emotional state or adjust an emotional state regardless of what is happening around you. So back to our example. So you get that email, and suddenly you feel this pain within you, this uncomfortableness, probably fear of, oh, okay, again, I did something wrong. Or my friend just found out that I'm actually selfish because I said something and now it's coming out in the open. The list is long, and there is no particular thing that is important here besides the fact that this is an emotional state that we feel because we choose to. This is something that for the longest time I didn't want to accept. But once you do, once you recognize that yes, you choose those emotions, it's not that easy, of course, to choose them, but you're still doing that. You are deciding how this will go. And it happens in so many ways on a subconscious level. It will happen on a subconscious level until you actively take part in it. Another great example is that you meet somebody and you feel like this instant connection, although that person probably isn't good for you. That person doesn't offer you a future. That person doesn't really want to grow with you in the way that is beneficial to you, but still you feel like you belong to each other. You feel like that person will understand you. It's such an intense feeling, and it feels so real. How can anything else be even possible? And that fact, that is something that is very particular for INFJs. This is such a strong emotional state that we feel at that second. Every one of them. It's anger that we feel when we're in traffic. It's that fear that we feel when we open that email. It's a connection to a person we feel that we meet. Those are things that are happening that are not necessarily in our best interest. But our emotional state at that moment tells us that's the right thing to do. So how do we change that emotional state, and do we actually want to? It is important at that moment to recognize that we're not our emotional states. We're bigger than that. We get to decide how we feel. And the best thing about it is that we start creating an emotional state that we maintain. Our emotional states keep us small, or they will help us to become bigger. The more we are in control of our emotional states, the less those things happening to us, like receiving that email, being in traffic, or seeing somebody that you're attracted to, the less those things have an impact on us that isn't on a rational basis. Don't get me wrong, it's not like we're not allowing our emotions to happen. But what we can do at that moment is first off decide, okay, that email I received, it has no effect on me. I still feel the same way. And now that I read it, I can make a conclusion of, do I need to change my behavior? Did I do something wrong? Maybe everything is going great. I don't allow this to have an emotional impact on me. I make a decision based on how I think the situation should go, if this is beneficial to me, and then I can still allow feelings to happen. Remember, taking control of your emotional state does not mean that you're not going to feel anything. You just make the decision of what kind of emotions you're going to allow. Because think of it in this extreme example of, let's say you have a narcissist and an INFJ, and that INFJ is in that codependent state where they would do everything for the narcissist. Maybe it's a parent. They're always right in your opinion, you're not being good enough, and you feel small and helpless around them. Wouldn't you want to be able to be in complete control of your emotional state and to say no to that person? To say, if you want to be in a relationship with me, no matter what kind of relationship, we're going to keep it in such a way that I'm continuously able to keep my positive emotional state. And that's not just about positive or negative emotional states. It's also about how you want to feel in a way of, do I want to feel like I have enough freedom? Do I want to feel like I have enough space? Do I need to have way more people around me? Do I want to have security, or do I want to have more excitement? Whatever it is that makes you feel the best. And this is a practice. This is not something that you can control. But when you get to a point where you can control it, you don't allow yourself to go in an emotional state of, oh, I feel so connected to that person, when you know that they're not good for you. You don't allow your emotional state to go there. On the other hand, if you, for example, in a relationships where things are going greatly, where that person is kind to you, they're helping you grow, they're showing up for you, they're really being there for you on a rational basis, you can allow your emotions to really go full out and to enjoy it. And trust me, this is not just limited to relationships. Every single time we get to grow one more level, it's because we can control our emotional states. We want to keep ourselves safe. This is normal. So we keep ourselves in this environment that we know, that makes us feel like home, even if it's something that isn't the best for us, but it's still safe. Every single time you get to cross that, every time you step out of the box, you know what happens? You allow your emotional state to get swayed by something external. This will happen every single time because you cannot control that emotional state until you recognize that you weren't in control before. So let's say you wanted to be an author or a YouTuber, but every single time you think about the fact of, oh, okay, I would post something or people would see what I'm writing, you feel so judged. You feel like people will see that you're imperfect, people will see that you're not interesting, and all of those emotions keep coming up. They're bubbling to the surface. This is happening because in that moment we choose, remember, we choose on a subconscious level to get pulled into our negative emotions. Still, none of those things have anything to do with what's happening outside. People will judge you, people will like you, none of it has anything to do with you. You cannot look into other people's minds, right? Remember this. All we do is we use people as a mirror to how we choose to feel and how we choose to believe. And you might say, why would I ever choose to feel judged? Nobody would do that. Yeah, of course. But if you on a subconscious level feel like you don't deserve to do this, you're not good enough to do this, what are you going to think? What are you going to feel? You're going to feel that you're going to be judged because you're judging yourself. All of this is only happening in your mind. I'm not saying that people are not judging you, but I'm saying that this is completely independent of you. If people judge you, if people love you, if they admire you, they hate you, if they think you're boring, none of it has anything to do with you. It has only something to do with their perspective, where they're coming from. So the reason why you feel judged is because of something you're experiencing. So our goal should always be that we get to a point where we are able to choose to feel in power, where we choose to feel unjudged, where we choose to say, I'm doing this and I'm loving this because I'm fighting for myself. Of course, I'm imperfect. I would never be perfect, so why even try? It's going to suck in the beginning, but the point is that I'm showing up for myself. I'm making a statement of self-love by growing. And with every single time you make a step like this and you recognize, oh, now I have this emotion, this negative thing, what do you normally do? You go back into the place you used to be. It's like this thing that's keeping us safe. It makes us feel like, oh, this is too much for me. I need to go back into my shell. I need to be protected. And this happens on thousands of occasions every single day. It's like those small steps. So when you're able and you're continuously working on being in control of your emotional states, there aren't those things that are keeping you back. And you continuously choose to take steps that help you grow because you can manage them. See, I'm not able to be on like this huge platform and to talk to millions of people at once because I'm not able to control my emotional state to that extent. I'm definitely better at it now than I was 2 years ago. And if you look at videos of mine, you'll see the difference there. So I'm not here to tell you it's either nothing or at all. It's just that with every single step we take, we learn more and more to be in control of that emotional state. That helps us to continuously grow while being our best self, while being at a place where we're deciding how we continue. We're not being guided by some negative emotions that keep coming up because our emotional state is reacting in an uncontrolled manner. We as INFJs have the unique capacity of combining our conscious and our subconscious mind. It takes effort, it takes time, but it is easier for us. So take advantage of that. If you go into a group of new people and you feel small and you feel judged and you feel like I need to stay quiet because my opinion doesn't matter or because people will recognize that I'm not that interesting, whatever is going on, that is in your mind. I'm not saying it's not happening on the outside, it's just that it doesn't matter. And the more you get to a point where it really doesn't matter, the bigger the chances are that people around you really don't think that. And as I said, it does not matter. A great example for this is that I always say, okay, you're in a meeting room and there's a person who judges you for having brown hair. If you don't care about having brown hair, you're not even thinking about it. You're probably thinking about that other colleague who's probably judging you about the way you speak, because this is also something where you're not confident in yourself. So the moment you get to a point where you say, I'm basing my self-confidence on the fact that I keep the promises I make to myself, I'm keeping my self-confidence because I'm willing to take the next step and be again a beginner in a new field because I choose myself over and over again, you continuously work on controlling your emotional state. Very often we're addicted to certain emotional states that are not beneficial for us. Fear, judgment, sadness, whatever it is. Even if you have people around you who are suffering and you're there and you help them, why think about this all the other 23 hours of the day or when you're not sleeping? You're not helping them in that moment, but you feel like, oh, I'm a bad person if I now focus on my well-being. When in the end, you're not helping them if you think about them or not. In that moment, you're not actively doing something to help them. So rather focus on getting into a positive mindset and getting into a positive emotional state that helps you grow, because chances are that you're much more likely to inspire others as well. In order for us to be able to let go of those negative emotional states that we continuously get drawn to, we have to first recognize them. We have to be willing to look at them. We have to be willing to stay in them and recognize that we're not our emotions, that no matter what we're feeling, it doesn't kill us. It's an emotion. We can overcome it. We're bigger than that. Once we've experienced it, once we recognize it for what it is, it's not that friend that saw you and now thinks you're a bad person. It's you who believes it on a certain certain level. So take it for what it is and decide that from now on, as often as you can, you will choose an emotional state that makes you feel good. Use some things to help you. Listen to music that inspires you. Read things that help you get into that emotional state. It's a matter of practice. The more often you do this, the more you're going to be able to stay in that state independent from what is going on in the real world. And that, my friends, will be the biggest catalyst in your INFJ Epic Life journey. I really hope you liked this video and you liked this entire month. We're definitely continuing on that track, although INFJ Warrior Month is over. Remember, if you want to take the next step, then check out the INFJ Epic Life Masterclass. And if you want to watch another video now that is in alignment with today's topic, then watch my video on the 7 steps to start your INFJ Warrior journey. Like always, guys, I wish you a wonderful day, a great week, and I talk to you next time.